Hey everyone, welcome to another Less Action, More Figures video review. Today I'm going to be reviewing another Grandista Banpresto figurine. My previous two reviews were Goku and Vegeta, and I've kind of kept the train going by reviewing these figures and purchasing them. Today I'm going to be bringing you a figure that was probably the one I like least out of the line. I'll kind of talk about that in more detail, but the figure I'm reviewing today is the Gogeta Grandista. So this is actually the first Gogeta figure I've purchased. I knew I wanted to have at least one of him, so I did some reviewing, looked online, and saw this guy and thought, you know what, he matches well size-wise with some of my other figures. Figured he'd be the one I want to add to my collection. Mixed feelings, to be honest. So this one I bought online from Amazon from a Japan-based seller, so it took a little while to come here, but otherwise I love it. So here's the box. So his side profile, back focusing on his face. And as you can tell, he's in his Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan mode. There's a sticker showing you it's legit, and I'm not showing you a fake one, and then the bottom of the box. So without any further delay, let me get down to telling you about this figure, what I like, what I dislike, and why it's probably my least favorite of the Grandista line. Let's dive in, okay? Alright everyone, let's get started with the review. As you can see, I've got my Gogeta Grandista figure out of the box and ready to show off. If you see me review my previous two Grandistas, it was the Goku and the Vegeta non-Super Saiyan versions, and I love them. But unfortunately, Gogeta kind of takes a step back figure-wise. So let me talk to you about what I like about it and what I don't like about it, which is unfortunately quite a bit. So first off, he is big, like all Grandista figures. You can see Gogeta, he is pretty tall. He stands quite well. He does require, his little foot mount there. I don't think he can stand without it, so I definitely think you should include that and keep that on there. The pose, I love it. I think he looks pissed, he looks ready to fight, like all these Grandista figures. He's ready to go. He's not, he's not messing around, he's ready to fight. He doesn't look too happy. I love the belt. I love how it's kind of swaying in the wind. It can make it hard to position. I know this sounds like a nitpick, but if you put him next to, say, the Gotenks figure that I'll review later, where his belt is kind of going in the opposite direction, it looks weird when they're next to each other because, wind is only kind of coming from one direction, right? So that is something, a minor annoyance, but I do think it's cool they went with a different direction, literally, and brought the belt out rather than just letting it fall by his side. The hair, let me bring you closer so I can give you an idea. I do love the hair. So they went with the shiny, sparkly, metallic-y blue, which, like I said before, is my favorite for the Super Saiyan God blue figures. I don't like the matte. I do like this figure, so I like this hairstyle. I know everyone's not a fan of the sparkliness, but you know what? I am, and if you're with me, let me know. His face, it certainly looks like Gogeta. He's obviously, like I said, looking pretty angry, ready to fight. As we get to the body, I want to talk about a few things that I don't like. Number one, the sculpting in the body is quite well done. It does have a slightly cheap feeling. It's definitely a different style of a material versus the Goku and Vegeta. You can just tell it feels cheap. It feels like they definitely cut back. Probably were losing money on these figures or something like that, and they needed to increase those margins. There's almost no shading. Actually, I would say there's no shading on his stomach here. This is all just shadows, so not much to go off of. Even the arms, if there is shading, it's very, very, very little bit. His little jacket here, there is shading on the arm puffs here, whatever you want to call them, and I do like kind of the glossy effect here. I do think that looks great, but the lack of shading is really kind of a bummer. His belt, as you can see, it comes out. This is detachable. It does come off, which I don't really have any thoughts about, so we'll leave it at that. There's no shading really on his belt either, which again, when you compare him to some of the other figures, and I will in a second, that kind of is just, I don't know, it's a negative. Around back, you can see, I really like this jacket. I think they did a good job. This top half of the figure gets a thumbs up from me. I do enjoy that. It's when we start getting down to the bottom half that I'm not too much of a fan of. So first off, again, continuing with the trend of this figure, not much shading. The pants look nice. They do fit into his boots, the wraps. Overall, it looks good. I just wish there was a little bit more shading to kind of go along with the amount of shading on the other figures in the Grandista line. What I really don't like is the fact that and I know a lot of people have talked about this, but if this is the first time hearing about it, maybe news to you, is that his legs are hollow. You can hear that? See, right? Sounds solid. His legs are completely hollow, and normally I wouldn't care about that. I don't care if he's, you know, if he's hollow or not. Really, I just want him to be a good-looking figure. What I kind of upset about is the fact that, as you can see down here, you can see a seam of where the plastic comes and meets together. And actually on this side it's even more visible. Like you can look at, you can see that line, and you can kind of squeeze it, and it kind of goes away a little bit. But there's a visible line of where his, you know, his legs came together, and that's just, it's just unfortunate because of course with the Goku and Vegeta Grandistas, I love them so much, huge fans. And when I got this one, I had high expectations as well, and unfortunately I was just kind of let down. So not much you can do about it, but I mean it is kind of a bummer. So you know what, I'm not going to spend any more time on it. I'm just going to kind of move on because otherwise I'm going to continue being upset about him. So let's focus here. So size wise, you know, continuing with the Grandista spirit, he is a big figure. So let me give you a size here. So over 12 inches, so 12 and a half inches or so, maybe close to 13. He does scale well with his buddy. I guess it's not his buddy, I guess it's his counterpart. I mean, technically Goku is half of Gogeta, so I don't know what you want to call that, but Gogeta is taller, like he should be, and they do look pretty cool next to each other. You can kind of get an idea of what I talk about. So when I look at these two figures next to each other, like look at the shading on the pants, almost none. Look at the amount of shading here, beautiful. Look at the belt, nicely painted, looks like there's some depth. Here, nothing, just plastic. Hard plastic, kind of feels hollow, definitely is hollow. This, completely solid. It's a softer feel, more of a matte, glossy feel of pants. And it just, I didn't think I liked the gloss on Goku's gi here, but I love it. And I think, I wish they would have done the same thing with Gogeta, but I mean, what can you do? So, you know, that sucks, but that is life, and that is why I do these reviews, so you can only get the best figures and you don't miss out or spend money where you probably shouldn't. So, this is the box. I'll put you next to the box, you can kind of get an idea. Would I recommend this figure? I mean, it's hard to say. I think there's probably better Gogeta figures out there. Actually, I know there's better Gogeta figures. So if you're looking at only one Gogeta, probably would avoid this one, unfortunately. If you are going to display him next to some other Grandistas like me, then he probably is worth the purchase. You know, there's not a lot of Gogetas that are of his size that are available, so I would say for that reason alone, I'd recommend him. But I mean, he is cheap. You know, the cracks, the seams, I can't get over it. So it's a mixed bag. You know, that's my review. It's a mixed bag. You may, you know, probably buyer's warning. So other than that, I'm going to leave the review there. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. You know, I appreciate all new subscriptions. And other than that, keep an eye out for my new video coming soon. And take care and have a great day. Peace.